everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today what we've got is we've got a new trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake, Intergrade and Intermission. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into it and I'm going to break it down. Now this trailer came at the end of the First Soldier live stream and I have got quite a bit of information for the First Soldier as well. There will be a video coming probably in the next week or so. I've got another video that I need to finish off before then, and I'm also going to be appearing on SEAL Team 7 tomorrow, so, you know, make sure that you catch that over on Schrodinger's Baby Seal's Twitch. But I will get around to it eventually. There will definitely be a First Soldier video coming, because I'm not going to lie, after watching the live stream, I am actually slightly more interested in it than I was. And initially, I wasn't interested in the slightest, because it's not my type of game. I'm not really the biggest fan of Battle Royales. But after watching it for a little bit and seeing the gameplay and seeing the different ways that they're doing things, yeah, it's going to be worth a go at the very least. But yeah, seeing how they're going about things, seeing the gameplay, seeing like the class system, that they've got the styles, as they call it, and seeing Midgar in the state that it's in, because it's a really early development Midgar, it's just really cool to see. So yeah, I'll almost certainly be giving that a go. And there is a closed beta coming soon. The details of it are up on my Twitter, so if you go to @Set26Gaming, you'll find us, and yeah, the link's there. But enough of that, let's get on with this trailer. So we have got the Intergrade and Intermission trailers for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
So that thing, that's a Whisper too, huh?
Looks a lot more like an Arbiter of Fate than the others.
We can beat them. What the? I think it's coming this way!
I've just got to say, seeing this running at 60 FPS just looks so amazing. Like, this looks stunning. Absolutely stunning.
What have you done?
Let's make it a night to remember. Now, let the hunt begin!
So predominantly, all of this so far has been just for the Intergrade, just for upgrade. Do you know what I mean? So it's not the DLC, this. So the fact that we're getting Vice here shows us 100% that we're going to get to fighting with Cloud and Aerith and the gang, and you get to see that in a second. But yeah, 100% confirmation, Vice is going to be added as a DLC special fight. And can I just say, the guy looks phenomenal. Like, I'm really impressed with the character work on this one.
Cloud, lend me your strength. Let us defy destiny together. Don't deny me. Embrace me.
Okay, so that's everything for Intergrade. Nothing new there, nothing crazy, nothing to really talk about other than A, how good it looks, B, how amazing that Vice fight looks, and yeah, that's about it really. So let's get to the good stuff.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but
Just hit me with it.
I'm gonna drop plate number 7.
They're gonna do what?
Okay, so this kind of puts where this is going on in the timeline into perspective. So this is going on just before the plate's been dropped on Sector 7. And I'm going to assume that that's going to affect Yuffie and Sonon and like the Avalanche gang in some way, shape or form, purely because that's where the bulk of this DLC seems to take place. It seems to take place in and around Sector 7. So there's definitely going to be some kind of impact felt by the gang. It all kind of depends how far into Remake's timeline this DLC goes. We know roughly where it starts. It's going to be starting roughly around the point of probably going to the Sector 5 reactor. I'd say that's probably where it starts off, just before there. I think that's where this DLC is going to start, and that'd line up with this.
I did bring these. Putai's famous Dachau bean.
Senzu bean! Sorry.
Eat up. And here you go.
You look about ready to die of boredom. Wanna play Fort Condor?
Or Condor?
Now this looks so good. Like, I was a bit worried at first when we found that they were getting rid of the Fort Condor minigame and turning it into something else, but this, this looks really good. So it looks like you have troops that you assign on your side of the battlefield. I'm going to assume that each one of them comes with a cost. It looks like each one of them is going to have some sort of special ability or buff or something like that. You can see L1 there for spells, so there's definitely going to be something there. You have ATB charges, which is, I'm going to guess, related to these skills that are right here. And then you have a list of your units, I'm guessing. I don't know if this is going to be units deployed or units that you can deploy. It looks like it's units deployed, and then like with this arrow next, it looks like this is possibly going to be the next troop that you have access to. Not 100% on that.
At long last, Wu Tai's finest deigned to join us.
Now, I know a lot of people will get quite a bit of hype over this Scarlet showing up in the DLC. A lot of people predicted that Scarlet was going to be involved in this DLC purely because of what the mission is. Yuffie's trying to get hold of this ultimate materia, and we all know who the person in Shinra is who messes with materia.
That was Scarlet, Director of Advanced Weaponry. It was one of her machines that killed Melfi!
Okay, so that gives us a bit of backstory on Sonon as well. He blames Scarlet for the death of, I assume, his sister, because we hear Yuffie say earlier on in like one of the other trailers, "I'm not your sister." So we can tell that Sonon's lost his sister in some degree and he's trying to replace her. This would explain that, and this is why he's got such a degree of hatred for Scarlet and Shinra in general.
Allow me to present the latest innovation in Shinra battle armor.
What the?
This'll be a memory to cherish for the rest of your lives. All 30 seconds of them.
I'm sorry, but that is 100% Proud Clod. Where is it? There we go. Come on. Come on. I mean, do you know what? I'm actually going to get a picture of Proud Clod up now. 1 second. Let's see. Right. So there's Proud Clod. Right there. Right there. Proud Clod. And if we come over to... Oh, come on. Come on. That is Proud Clod. That is Proud Clod. You are not going to convince me otherwise. That is Proud Clod.
Shinra battle armor.
What the?
This'll be a memory to cherish for the rest of your lives.
Or at the very least, if it's not Proud Clod, it's like a precursor to Proud Clod. So because Yuffie and Sonon wreck this thing now, we end up with Proud Clod later on because Scarlet steps up and, you know, makes a better version. It's either Proud Clod or Proud Clod's daddy. That's what I'm saying.
All 30 seconds of them.
And I'm absolutely loving the fact that we get the big dog Ramuh in the game. Where is I'm rubbish at pausing, but yeah, look at him. Look how pretty he is. He looks angry, and this attack looks insane as well. I'm really happy that they've brought him in. I mean, he was always going to be brought in, but I'm glad it's happened because. Yeah, he was one of my favourite early summons in the original game. Like, Ifrit and Shiva were standard, but Ramuh felt like he was... Do you know what I mean? He felt more powerful. Don't know why. Maybe it's just because he stood on a mountain and slapped people with lightning. But yeah, really happy to see him.
How dare you? How dare you stand in my way?
Okay, so yeah. Many people will lose their absolute mind over this. I was in a stream with, well, I was in Schrodinger's Baby Seal's Twitch when this went down, and he absolutely lost it. I'm pretty much certain that Sleep Easy is going to have woke up and watched this and absolutely lost his mind as well. So we've got Nero here from Dirge of Cerberus, and this just adds so much more weight to the probability of seeing Genesis or some other aspect of like Dirge of Cerberus and Crisis Core. It seems like they are 100% bringing the compilation of Final Fantasy VII into Final Fantasy VII Remake. So yeah, a lot of people absolutely lost it about this, and it has a strong bearing on the future of Remake. We are almost certainly going to see Genesis and things like that now.
What in the...
Let the games begin.
This is just wrong.
Now, first things first, that fight looks absolutely insane. The action, I cannot wait to get involved in the combat with Yuffie. It looks so good. But we've got this final scene now, so let's just let it run. Let's just let it run. Pauses 1 second later. What is going on here in the eye? That is something that needs to be figured out and looked into. I'm not sure. The general consensus in the stream was that this is after the set 7 plate's fallen. And from what Yuffie says in a second, you would think that as well, so let's actually play it this time.
This is just wrong.
And that's it. That's the end of the trailer there. So quite a bit to decompress right at the end all in one go there. I'd say for the bulk of the trailer, it was all kind of like, oh, that looks cool. That looks cool. That looks cool. And then towards the end, it was like, what? 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 So I'm going to kind of try and break it down a little bit. I'm going to do a slightly more in-depth video in a day or two, something like that, because this is just kind of an initial reaction. But judging from some of the things that we saw there, I mean, Nero appearing is pretty massive. It kind of confirms, well, it doesn't confirm, but it lends weight to a lot of the theories that are going round about people like Genesis, about a lot of the story elements from Dirge of Cerberus becoming involved, such as Omega and Chaos and things like that. It almost certainly alludes to the fact that Vincent is going to play a much more pivotal role in Remake than he did in the original. And same for Yuffie, because, I mean, from what we can see here, she's going to be deeply involved in these events, and it brings one massive question to mind for me. And it's not even a question, to be honest, it's more of a problem. In the original continuity, we can assume that these events didn't happen, because Yuffie never, ever speaks about them. And I'm pretty sure it's established that the first time that she meets Nero is in Dirge of Cerberus. If that's the case, how is she meeting him 3 years earlier in the remake continuity? Yeah. Now, there are a few different ways that this can happen. The first is, because she's in Midgar, and I think this is the way that it's going to go, to be honest with you. So because Yuffie's in Midgar, she's in that sphere of influence that the planet and that Sephiroth are kind of trying to struggle over. Because like I've said in a previous video, I feel like Sephiroth has been restrained in Midgar by the planet. Now, that's not really a problem for him because he wants to be in Midgar at the minute. He needed to do things in Midgar. But he also needed access to the power that he wasn't being given access to. So that's why he kind of has the party take down the Whispers and defeat them, so that he can then go about his business unrestrained, unchecked. And it's possible that if Yuffie is in Midgar from, like we said, it looks like it's just before the Sector 5 bombing run that she kind of appears in Sector 7. So if she's in Midgar from that point onwards, there's every chance that the Whispers are going to have interacted with Yuffie and so on and the rest of the Avalanche group. And if that's the case, it could easily have changed the chain of events that Yuffie is meant to take part in. And that could have a pretty big knock-on effect going forwards. It could be that these events happened and we just didn't hear about them in the original continuity. I very much doubt that. I don't think that's the case, but it is possible. But then this does bring up another quite interesting question. Now, if you, like me, believe that there are at least 2 timelines going on here, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to play this again, but muted. So just give me a second. There we go. So that can play in the background while I'm waffling, because you're just staring at a static screen there, and that's not good. But if it turns out that we are dealing with 2 kind of parallel timelines running alongside each other since the end of Remake, where Zack survived, which one of these is the Yuffie DLC taking place in? I would assume it's in the Remake timeline, you know, the timeline that the game itself took place in. But there is a possibility that it's taking place in the Zack timeline, and that, because you'd be hopping between timelines for the story. I don't think it is going to be in the Zack timeline. I think that's going to be a question that a lot of people are going to ask and a lot of people are going to think, especially with like Nero turning up, especially with the seeming changes in Yuffie's continuity. But I think those changes to that storyline can be pretty easily explained by the events going on in Midgar in general during Remake. So I don't think that we need to rely on the second timeline to explain away these changes. I think these changes, because Remake's changed, the Remake timeline is different to the original timeline. That's where the changes are happening. I just see this as another one of those changes. So that's going to be the end of this. I'm not going to dive too much deeper into this now. I just wanted to kind of give my initial reaction on it. I am going to do a slightly more in-depth video. Like I say, I've got about 3 or 4 videos baking in the oven at the minute, so I need to kind of arrange myself and get them done rather than kind of flitting between all the different ideas that are going on. So yeah, I'll make sure that I do that. But let me know what you think. What did you think of this trailer? What do you think of the improvements in Final Fantasy VII Intergrade? I think it looks stunning. Fort Condor looks amazingly fun. I'm really up for the fight with Vice. He looks absolutely insane. He looks like he's going to be a really difficult fight as well, so I'm up for that. Fighting Nero in the Intermission DLC, that looks like it's going to be fun. And just kind of finding out what goes on in that Intermission DLC, because there's a lot that's going to go on. You know, they're obviously holding some things back. We're not seeing everything. There's going to be a lot of things that we've not seen that go down. So yeah, quite hyped for that. But let me know what you think. What are you hyped for? What are you looking forward to? And yeah, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like on the video and sub for future content. But more importantly than anything, have a great day.